Hey guys, looks like we got two people in here, nobody in the chat just yet. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And I was trying to hurry and get a refresher on my drink before I started this. And put a little makeup on, make myself look halfway decent. Can't do anything about this hair though. It looks kind of cruddy. But anyway, the reason why I was almost late, in case anybody cares. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Blissful. You're in here before Texas. Or is he with you? Um, Ryan, were you on I could have sworn I saw you on the Rad Street thing with Uncle Rad the other night. Were you on there with him? Blissful, you say, I'll be listening. I'm cooking a very late supper. Gotcha. Okay. Hey, Texas, you are in here. Okay, awesome. Um, I thought that was you, Ryan. Um, you did a really good job. I didn't get to watch it all, but I watched some of it, and it was really good, entertaining. You and Uncle Bill or Uncle Rad, uh, really, were able to bounce off, bounce things off of each other really good. I thought it was good. Um, so Ryan, are you gonna be returning to be with Uncle Rad on another one of these? You say thanks, I appreciate it. Um, but why I was almost late for this in Texas, might say, geez, golly, geez, man, nobody cares. But I was almost late because my dad um asked me, well, first he asked me to put some things on Facebook Marketplace for him. Because for those of you that watched the cabin video where I was up at my mom's cabin and I did kind of a um, little live stream up there at her cabin when I was visiting my parents last. Um, I mentioned that my dad kind of had a little business since he retired from his main job. So now he's got his own antiques and collectibles little shop called Red Barn Antiques and Collectibles. And so he wanted me at first to put something on Facebook Marketplace. He's also got a truck he's trying to sell, and he was going to have me put both of those things on there. But then I discovered that if I didn't set him up with his own Facebook account, which my dad does not have, it would be linked to my account and it might be a big old mess for people trying to get a hold of him and stuff like that. So I talked to my mom and she said, well, he was kind of talking about wanting a website, his own website. And so I thought, well, that might be a little more simple to do. And that way I can put just his contact info on there and they can contact him for directly for anything that they want. So I told mom that I would work on it. I figure, my dad's not a person that has to have some real elaborate thing set up. So I thought about just going with Blogspot. And then when he has new things, and I don't know what has bit me, but I have like little bite marks all over my leg. I just started itching all of a sudden, but something must have got me when I was outside or something. I don't know. But anyways, it itches like crazy. Um so anyway, I told mom I'll just get on, I didn't tell her Blogspot, but I said I'll get on one of the free services and I'll just do it that way, and then I will send you guys the address, the web address, and dad can check it out and see if he likes it. And the good thing about Blogspot is, like, let's say my dad sells this truck he's trying to sell, then we can take that blog off of there. And he can basically change up the pictures or whatever if he wants to on the Red Barn Antiques and Collectibles part of it. So I'm pretty satisfied with it, but I just got done with it just in time to do this stream. Ryan, you said, well, Uncle Rad hasn't asked, but if he wants me to, I most certainly will. Um, I would do it, I would volunteer to do it, but I don't think I'm rad enough to do it, Ryan. That's the thing. Um, so anyway, um, we're having another Cheese Extreme Wednesday tonight. Steve thought I was taking the night off. I was like, no, I'm not taking the night off. I always do Cheese Extreme Wednesdays on Wednesdays. And he just kind of shook his head. He thinks I'm insane doing this many streams. But anyway, I'm gonna do it. And the two movies we're gonna talk about tonight are Satan's Blade and Silent Madness. And again, I was kind of busy today, and didn't get around to picking the ones for next week, next Wednesday, but I'm sure I probably will pull a couple more after I do this stream. I also wanted to remind everybody that we've got the Maximum Overdrive watch along with Old Curly Jaws joining me at 7:30 Eastern time this Saturday. And the reason why I'm having it at 7:30 again is because Old Curly Jaws does not get off from work until 7. And so in order to allow him to have enough time to get home and get set up and get ready, I said that since this was his pick for a watch along, I would wait until 7:30 to do it. So that's why it's a little bit later. And also Sunday, this coming Sunday, we have the Don't Go in the House watch along, which Texas picked. So I'm hoping that Texas wants to be on the live stream with me for that one. And that one will be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be starting a little bit early on that one. And as always, anybody can join in on any live streams that they want to. The Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker live stream that I did not very long ago was a blast because we pretty much had a full house. I can have up to 9 other people on here with me on StreamYard. And I would love to do that sometime. But all you gotta do is ask. And as long as people are respectful on here and don't get in fights and don't, you know, act like butt heads, then it will be fine. And the last large group I had, Wes or CK was on, Dirk was on, John was on, Darren was on. Steve was on here for a while. He was kind of like sitting close to me because we tried to do it separate, but Steve was back here in the same room with me, so it was causing a lot of kind of feedback issues. So we had a pretty decent crowd for that, and it was a lot of fun. Not that I don't like guys on here, but I would like to get a few gals on here. But I can't. Having a hard time finding gals that either one have a camera, two feel comfortable getting on there, and because I've asked questions about different people, and some of them were people that Wes knew, and he would tell me, well, either they're not interested or they're shy or they're whatever, and so any of you gals that come in here for the live streams, hit me up if you ever want to come on. I mean, all I got to do is send you a link and with an invite in it, and we're usually good to go. I mean, Wes was right about this. This StreamYard is a lot easier to add people and do, all those little extra things that we like to do. Whatever this was, it bit me on both of my legs because it's like, this is awful. It's like I got bug bites all over me now. I don't know exactly what bit me, but I mean, my dogs don't have fleas or anything, and these are like tiny, tiny bites that would be kind of like flea bites. But I know, I look at my dogs every day. I don't see any fleas on them. So let's see. Texas, you say I've got Silent Madness. Haven't watched it. Oh wow. I don't know. You might not want to after you hear me talk about it tonight. Um, Texas, you say you will if I have a link to the movie. Um, I do believe I have a link to the movie. I will be sure to put it in the description or the chat as well, but I should have it in the description if you go to the promotion for it on YouTube. I already have, the link set up for it, and I believe I put the well, actually, let me go check because I don't want to make a liar out of myself. That wouldn't be good, would it? Let's see. Yeah, I do. I do have the link in the description for the movie, which is on YouTube. So, yeah, we should be good to go on that. And I will also put it in the chat as well. Hey, Menelect, you say hello all. Brandon was asleep, and dang if he didn't come back here. I love my dog, but I swear. With all that being said, I think we'll go ahead and get started with the movies. Now, Satan's Blade, I really, this is becoming a habit with me. I really meant to go and give myself a little refresher on it and didn't get time between doing that stuff for my dad and, taking care of the animals, taking care of Steve. I got fixed him some fried corn today to go with his chicken leg quarters. So, I would, even though I was off today because I had a therapist appointment, I still was kind of busy doing different things. Um, Hey, Red, you say Me TV Trilogy of Terror would be a good watch along for Saturday. By the way, ever heard of He Knows You're Alone? I tried to watch it once and fell asleep. Yes, actually, I talked about He Knows You're Alone recently, Red. I don't know if you were in here or not. Um, yeah, if I didn't already have something picked or somebody else picked Red, that would be a trilogy of terror would be a good watch along for Saturday. I mean, but that's not to say that I can't do trilogy of terror on another week because I pretty much do these watch alongs every Saturday. So, I could very well do it, a Saturday that we didn't already have something picked. So, and it might be closer to Halloween. I kind of consider Trilogy of Terror to be a kind of a fall Halloween type of movie for me, even though it doesn't have anything to do with Halloween. It just feels like a fall like movie. But I'm sorry you fell asleep during He Knows You're Alone. Uh, you must be like Uncle Bill because he's the one that said that movie was like watching old people eat, which I took that to definitely mean it was boring. But anyway, y'all keep chatting in there. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first movie because I try not to make these Cheese Extreme Wednesdays very long because I'm just talking about a couple of movies. Um, So we're going to get started. We're going to talk about Satan's Blade, and this is the Arrow release of Satan's Blade. And Steve was like, "Why on earth? Why on earth did you buy that movie on Blu-ray?" He said it's horrible. Hey, X-Ray, you say yo, Daner. Um, well, because like I've said before, bad cheesy movies, sometimes I just want to watch them. And I think a lot of you that come to these streams are the same way. So, even though the movie is not a really great movie and is some places it's very cheesy, including the dialogue. As we all know, a lot of these movies have very cheesy dialogue to them. Um, Really, X-Ray says Satan's Blade, a classic in the realm of horror, better than The Shining. I kind of think you're being sarcastic, right, X-Ray? So let me give you a little bit of a plot synopsis for Satan's Blade, in case you've never heard of it. One of the lesser known entries in the annals of the 80s slasher film, Satan's Blade is an eerie slice of U.S. regional terror ripe for rediscovery by horror fans. Arriving at a snow capped mountain resort, a group of youngsters are met by the news that a double murder has taken place there the previous night. Despite this grisly revelation, they decide to stay on. No kidding. That always happens, does it not? They get warned and they go ahead and they stay wherever they are anyway. Unaware of the knife wielding figure stalking the wintry landscape. Could the local legend about a vengeful mountain man have some truth to it? This was shot in Big Bear, California in 1980, but it wasn't released until 1984. L. Scott Castillo Jr.'s Satan's Blade succeeds in establishing a thoroughly creepy atmosphere, helped in no small part by a freakish nightmare sequence that's sure to inspire more than a few sleepless nights. Now, I know a lot of that was added purely to sell the movie, because why would you tell people, this is a cheesy, trashy, a low budget, in some people's eyes, clunker? Why would you tell people that? That's not going to sell movies. So they try to spice it up a little bit. I get that. Um, and the transfer, from what I can remember, is fairly good. I'm not going to say it's perfect, and I'm not going to say it's better than a lot of things that have come out on Blu-ray, because it's not. Because I'm sure the original elements weren't that great to start with. Um, X-Ray, you say, "Nah, I just heard of it for the first time just now." Gotcha. You say more like the annals of horror, yeah. Um, some people might think it came from somebody's anus. It just dropped out of somebody's anus. They might think it's that bad. But, this does really kind of start out cheesy, because it starts out with two women who, I think they have stolen something. I think they've stolen a bunch of money, actually, if I remember correctly. And they're at this cabin at this mountain resort, and I don't think they paid to stay here either. And you're not sure when they first come in, they're like, in their winter gear, and you're not sure if it's maybe just small stature men, or a man and a woman, or what it is. But then when they start taking, the face stuff off and things, you figure out it's two women. And then something happens. I guess you would say that one of the women, I wasn't ever sure if one of the women got possessed by the so-called mountain man, or she just was greedy and wanted all the money, and so she killed her partner off. Which, like I said, I meant to go back and watch it and get a refresher, but it's either one or the other. Um, and then after she kills her partner, she is then killed by, I guess, this mountain man, this mystical mountain man that, or vengeful mountain man, I guess, like the plot synopsis says, um, dispatches her pretty quickly. Then all these young people show up, and of course, it's kind of like the Friday the 13th, Crazy Ralph type thing. The people that run the resort kind of try to discourage them from staying, but of course they don't listen, and then bad things start to happen. I don't know. I mean, it's called a slasher film, but I don't know if I would really refer to it as a slasher film per se. Um, I mean, I guess it would be more like a possession type film or a supernatural type film or something to that effect. And you might say, yeah, but Dana, like Jason Voorhees is kind of supernatural. Yeah, but I just think of movies like the Friday 13th series. Once Jason was introduced, I think of him as more of a slasher killer than I do this guy, even though this vengeful mountain man does have a knife. Um, it just doesn't feel as much like a slasher as, say, Friday the 13th does, or something like The Burning or Madman, or any of those other types of camp films, or just slasher films in general. But people can feel free to disagree with me on that. It won't hurt my feelings. Um, the movie is not that long. It's only 83 minutes. Um, and I mean, the dialogue is cheesy, guys. The acting is cheesy for the most part. And of course it is low budget. And something's going on when it was filmed in 1980 and didn't come out for 4 years. That probably means it sat on the shelf somewhere for whatever reason. And then, they probably thought, what the hey, we'll just release it now. Maybe they were hard up for money and they just said, well, we'll go ahead and release it. Um, but I do remember the nightmare sequence in it, and it's kind of bizarre, but I don't think it's gonna give you nightmares or make you where you can't sleep or anything like that. It's not that creepy. Um, So again, I know why they put this stuff on the DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks and all of that. It's to sell the movie. I mean, I totally get that. They're not gonna tell you all the low budget, bad acting, bad dialogue, bad cinematography, whatever. They're not gonna tell you those things because that is not a way to sell a movie. But I will talk about the special features on here, and yes, there are quite a few special features on here. Um, you get a brand new 2K restoration of the film presented in both 185.1 and 4.3 133.1 versions. Um, you also get a DVD in here in case you're interested. You get the Blu-ray, and then of course you get a DVD there. And you also get two different pieces of artwork there. And let's see, we only get original mono audio, which I'll be honest, the audio is kind of crappy, even on this Blu-ray. You get a brand new audio commentary by The Hysteria Continues, which is great and probably makes the film a little bit more watchable. You get an interview with writer director L. Scott Castillo Jr. Remembering Satan's Blade, Castillo narrates a look at various items of Satan's Blade memorabilia. Reversible Sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Matt Ryan Tobin. So I don't know again how many of you guys have maybe seen this or even heard of it. I didn't. This is a film that I didn't hear of until, gosh, when did this come out on Blu-ray? 2016, maybe. Arrow put it out. And I believe Slasher Video also put it out, and they may have put it out earlier than Arrow. I cannot recall. But Slasher Video did put it out as well. I did not hear about it, at all. I'm about to lose my voice, guys. Hold on a minute. I didn't hear about this movie at all, the title or anything about it, until a few years into Steve and I's marriage. So this is not a movie that I saw growing up. I think Steve had heard of it before I did, and then, he's the one that told me it was a bad movie. And I think he has it on the hard drive somewhere. And that was one of the things he brought up with me. He's like, "Why did you buy that on Blu-ray? Why did you pay or money for that movie?" It's like, why didn't you just call it good and watch it on the hard drive? And I was like, I don't know. I just like to buy those cheesy bad movies sometimes just to have something to watch when I just want to zone out and not have to watch anything that's like really takes up too much of my mind power. I just want to sit there and watch something mindless. And Satan's Blade is one of those that fits the bill in that department. So it's good to have these titles around when you're having that kind of day. Let's say you had a bad day at work or whatever, and you just want to forget about everything and put something in, something that you don't have to think about too much. Satan's Blade is one of those movies that you can do that with, trust me. You can even put it on in the background and kind of glance at it every once in a while, and it definitely is not a movie that has such a complex plot that you got to be paying attention to it all the time. Yes, X-Ray, that is exactly right. Comfort movies, if you will. Yes, they are comfort movies. And then the other types of movies that are comfort movies for me anyway is ones that I'm nostalgic for. And, I've talked about several movies that are like that have the nostalgia factor attached to them that we remember, watching with our family or watching with good friends and just having a ball and laughing and that's why again these watch alongs are so fun for me, and especially so much fun when we can get a bunch of people in here for the watch along. Because it just brings me back to the times when I would sit around with groups of friends. Whether you got invited to a Halloween party, when I was in high school, I got invited to a Halloween party once at one of my friends' houses, and she told me I was in charge of bringing the movies because they knew that Dana had all you know, people thought I had all the best horror movies because I was really into horror. And so, see, it's times like that I remember, or times when my cousin Heather would come over and we watched things like Tales from the Dark Side. And, it just takes you back and it really calms you and centers you and does all of those things and gets you back to I feel like the way you want to be. Nobody wants to be all strung out and your nerves all on edge and, crying or whatever. And I know you guys are saying, "Oh, we don't cry." Well, ladies do. So women do. I do my fair share of crying. So sometimes all I need is just a good nostalgic movie. And it doesn't always have to be horror. It can be comedy. Probably wouldn't recommend dramas when you're feeling down. But horror films and comedies, they'll usually perk me right back up. Yes, background movies for making cabinets X-ray. Actually, Steve told me, he's like, "We're gonna have to get this door put back on this cabinet." I said, "I know, Steve. I need to get back out there and finish them up, whether I'm not feeling good or what. They need to be finished. And I would like to get them finished before winter this year, so that I can do the wood around it and use that reticate stuff. I still want to do that." Well, at least I'm not crying right now, X-Ray. You say life is worth living. Lots of shitty movies out there to enjoy. Though, well, there certainly are. There certainly are. And when you're feeling down and you put in one of those so-called shitty movies, it somehow doesn't seem so shitty. It seems soothing, or at least it does to me. Um, so that is Satan's Blade. I would recommend it if you want a nice cheesy movie to put in the background while you're carving your pumpkin this Halloween or whatever. Then definitely pick up Satan's Blade or one like it. I've talked about many more of these cheesy movies on this series. Okay, so moving on to the next one is Silent Madness. And this came out kind of recently from Vinegar Syndrome. And Steve got me this. This is the other cover art, which I never really liked this one. I like the new one that they had. It's just so over the top and crazy. I love it. And you'll notice that it said in 3D down there at the bottom. And even though I generally don't use the red and blue glasses, because as we all know, it doesn't work too good at home. Um, but you actually get two pairs of these, and I thought, what the hey, I'll keep it, because they're just cool looking. And you get a Blu-ray. You actually get the digital 3D on one disc, which is definitely the better of the two. And then you get another Blu-ray that has the anaglyph 3D that you use these glasses for. But I would highly recommend, if you get this or already have it and you haven't maybe watched it, that you watch the 3D version and the digital 3D if at all possible. Texas, you say you want to see God's Blade? Yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe they could make a sequel and call it God's Blade. You say that's Professor Xavier? It kind of looks like him. X-ray, you said the guy on the Silent Madness cover looks like Trevor Phillips in Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Well, you know what else about Silent Madness before I really get into this? It has two people from Sleepaway Camp. It has the guy that played Ronnie, the guy in the short shorts that was always lifting weights in the background and stuff on Sleepaway Camp. And it also has Kathy Kami on there, Meg from Sleepaway Camp, MEG. I met her, by the way. She's really cool. Um, um, Ryan, you say any recommendations from you, Dana, in the chat for titles pick up from Kino during their sale? Well, you know what? Ryan, let's take a breather and take a look at what the titles are, because I wanted to get in on that sale, but I haven't even looked at that. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because that. Just a second here. Kino Lorber. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. So, are you talking about just Blu-rays and stuff and 4Ks, Ryan? Let's see. I don't know what that is, but I'm just looking at some of this stuff. I always like that Parasite 3D, the one that's directed by Charles Band. That might be one I would consider getting. I see they got Bay of Blood. If you didn't have Bay of Blood, um, I'd recommend that one, the Mario Bava movie. Well, anything Pete Walker, um, the Flesh and Blood show, I see they got that by Pete Walker. I love Pete Walker stuff. I'm just kind of trying to go through these kind of quickly. Well, there's another Pete Walker one, The Comeback. Yeah, I would definitely recommend anything by Pete Walker. There's another one, Die Screaming Marianne. Looks like you can get the Blu-ray of that for $7.99. That's not bad. The Reincarnation of Peter Proud. That's one that I haven't seen in a long time. Link. I mean, that Link is just so batshit crazy that I love it. So I would recommend that one. Hatchet for the Honeymoon, another Mario Bava movie. You can get it for $9.99. I mean, Frightmare, again, another Pete Walker, but it says it's currently unavailable on Blu-ray, so I guess you wouldn't be able to get that one. Another Pete Walker movie, House of Whipcord. You can get it for $8.49 on Blu-ray. House of Mortal Sin. They've got all these Pete Walker movies. Ugh, I hate that werewolf woman movie. That's one that I would not recommend. And who in the world would want to give 26.21 for that? Mhm. The Pit, that one's a pretty decent movie with several creepy moments in it. Um Oh, definitely Schizo by Pete Walker. That's probably one of my favorite Pete Walker films. I would definitely say pick that one up if you don't have it. But yeah, I was just yeah, Texas New Year's Evil. I didn't see that initially looking on there, but New Year's Evil is a definite one to pick up if you can. TJ, you say, "Hey there, y'all. I have the movie but haven't watched it yet. Might save it for my Halloween marathon and watch Silent in 3D." That would be cool. Do you have the ability to watch the digital 3D, TJ? Because that would be the best. Actually, you say Parasite 1982 better than Korean Parasite. So, Ryan, you're picking up The Whip and the Body. Good choice. Yeah, Demi Moore and Sherry Curry and Parasite. Yeah, I had forgotten about Sherry Curry being in there. I remembered that Demi Moore was in it. Frightmare, yes. The comeback is great too. Yep. We must have a lot of Pete Walker fans in here. TJ used to have the Walker box set that came out on DVD a few years back. I have the the one of the box sets. I think it was the volume one that came out on Blu-ray. Wes actually gave it to me. TJ, you say I have a 3D TV. I got it secondhand from my parents. Okay, well, definitely watch it in digital 3D. So, anyway, back to Silent Madness. I'll give you try to give you a brief plot synopsis for this um, little gem here. When a glitch in the computer system in an asylum for the criminally insane results in the release of the wrong patient, a giant in stature homicidal maniac named Howard Johns, who has a penchant for killing college co-eds, is up to one of the Institute's top doctors to track him down. Unfortunately, it's not just Howard she has to worry about. As the administration of the asylum has decided to cover up the error to avoid bad press, going as far as to hire a duo of thugs. And thugs, these guys are, they are so sleazy. Um, I guess I'm more repulsed by them than I am the so called actual killer in this movie. Um, so they hire these thugs to permanently silence the good doctor. Soon enough, Howard finds his way back to the sorority house he once terrorized and sets out to murder the latest batch of nubile co-eds who have taken up residence in the stately manor. One of the few slashers produced during the short lived early 80s revival of 3D movies. Simon Nocturne's Savage, he also did Savage Dawn. Silent Madness knows exactly what audiences want and delivers. Heavily gel lighting and excellent use of 3D photography from Gerald File, who did Friday 13th Part 3. Elevate the high body count drive-in classic, which stars Belinda Montgomery from Tron Legacy, Vivica Linford from Creepshow, and career stuntman Solly Marks, who was in Phantasm 2 as the diabolical Howard Johns. So they actually used a stuntman to play Howard Johns, and he's not wearing a mask. Never officially released on disc and nearly impossible to see in its original scope and 3D version, Vinegar Syndrome presents Silent Madness on Blu ray, newly restored from its original 3D camera negative and presented in digital 3D, which mirrors the theatrical experience. Flat 2D and Anaglyph 3D, which you can enjoy with your custom pair of 3D glasses included with this disc. Okay, so, that gives you the basic plot of Silent Madness. which is not an original plot, is it, guys? Because somebody, instead of merely escaping from the asylum, they get let loose on purpose, kind of, but there's a computer error. And then, as with a lot of things, the asylum, like kind of like big business and these big companies and stuff, when they mess up, they don't want it catching up to them. So in this case, they go, well, one of the head doctors is the one that kind of sets this in motion. It's not really the head administrator of the asylum, even though she wants the two thugs to go get Howard John. She doesn't intend for them to kill the other doctor, which they are perfectly willing to do, as well as raping her before. I think that's their ultimate plan. So these two guys are very, very sleazy. And like I said, I'm more repulsed by them than the character of Howard Johns in the movie. And he's supposedly supposed to be killing people, but these guys have a cattle prod and all kinds of things, and they're not above like trying to run over people, using cattle prods on people, uh, raping this doctor before they want to finish her off. And just very reprehensible characters. It is rare that I see characters in a quote unquote slasher movie that are this sleazy. I mean, usually you see these kind of guys in a rape revenge type of film. They're on that level. And so um, that's the basic plot, but you do have the cheesiness. I mean, like the two thugs, when one of them laughs, the way he laughs, he just like that. And it's just so, I can't do it exactly like he does it, but it just goes on forever. And it's the craziest thing. You wonder, is it like, should they have been in the asylum, or maybe they were in the asylum and then they let them be attendants or whatever they are. And even like, Vivica Linford, who is a very accomplished actress, even her performance, and maybe again, maybe she was told to do this. Her performance seems a little overdone, because she's talks about her son all the time. It's kind of like Mrs. Voorhees in First Friday the 13th, the way Betsy Palmer does when she's talking about Jason and, what happened to him. And it was all the counselor's fault because they were making love and they weren't watching him and he drowned. So, something bad also happened to Vivica Linford's son within this movie. And she acts very strange when the girls kind of sexually express themselves. For instance, one girl lifts up her shirt early on, and oh, guys, she's got a bra on. But Vivica Linford's character comes down the stairs because she's like the house mother. And, the girl's doing a kind of striptease thing. She's swinging something around. She lifts up her top and she's, of course, got her bra on. But the other girls are like, hi, they're having a big old time because this girl's supposedly going on spring break or something. And they say, oh, why would these boys want to look at this face? And so she's just kind of playing along. So right about the time she lifts up her top, Vivica Linford comes down the stairs and is like, "You slut, you whore," and she's just going on about it. And like they finally get her calmed down, but she's like, and then she kind of calms down. And she says, "You shouldn't flaunt your nakedness around." And and then she gives one of the girls a big hug. But it's like when she first came down there and saw that, she just wigged out a little bit. So that's what I mean by some of the performances are very over the top and outrageous and all of that. So in essence, that makes it cheesy. Some of the See, being as the killer is a stunt man. I'm not saying he couldn't act. I'm just saying, um, I don't think they ever had him talk. It was just a matter of just going around like this and just taking out the girls almost like he was some kind of machine instead of a human being. Just like he was just this ultimate force to be reckoned with. Like I said, I don't think he ever talked once in the entire movie. He was just a force that moved around from girl to girl, killing people. So it has some good kills in it. It's not, I don't think it's overly bloody, but it's just bloody enough to satisfy most horror fans that watch it. Um, and for all its cheesiness, I still think it is a worthy entry into the slasher genre of horror films. And then you get the extra added touch of being able to now watch it in 3D the way it was intended to be watched. Um, Now, I will tell you, Steve wasn't too impressed with the 3D. I believe I liked it, even the digital 3D. I liked it a little bit better than he did. Um, there was some ghosting, I will admit, because even a lot of this digital 3D, it's not perfect. Um, it's still not going to be the way it was way back when you did have the anaglyph glasses and you watched it at the theater and it was on the great big screen um and now even the 3D is different when you go to the movie theater. Because I don't think the 3D now is so much about things sticking out of the screen as it is immersing you in the movie. And it seems a lot like those LCD shutter glasses that I still have them, but I haven't used them in God knows when. And I don't even think they're making movies for these shutter glasses anymore. I could be wrong, but I don't even think the website where I got these shutter glasses years ago, eyeglasses.com with the letter I, not EIE. I don't even think they're in business anymore. I don't even think the site is active anymore. But they had something, I think this was a short-lived thing, but it was called Living 3D, and there were a few movies that were put out in Living 3D. One was Evil Dead, which I got. I was trying to remember another one I got, and I can't right now, but basically watching Evil Dead and Living 3D, which Evil Dead was never put out in like anaglyph 3D. You didn't get to wear the red and blue glasses and see it at the theater that way. So this was someone was able to create this and it was immersive. Instead of things sticking out of the screen or out of the TV, it really felt like the stuff was surrounding me and it was a neat effect. But I guess it just didn't catch on. I think part of the reason was the glasses were too expensive. The glasses at the time that I bought them, they were electronic jobbies and they were kind of heavy. But the ones I got also had like earbuds or whatever that came down. And you were totally immersed in not only the video, but the audio as well, because it was like, having headphones on, and you know how that is. It's like everything kind of surrounds you. So, um, that set, that particular glasses set cost me about the price of a new computer. It was 900 and something dollars. And I know that that was crazy of me to do. And it turned out to be a little bit of a fad, because you don't really hear anybody talking about those anymore. Um, but it was neat. It was a cool little thing there for a while. And I don't know if that's Brandon coming back here or not. But that's just a little background on different things about like Silent Madness and a few of these other things. But so, oh goodness, I would definitely, if you could only buy one of these, I would definitely say go with Silent Madness, because I actually think Silent Madness is the more entertaining of the two films. They both have cheesy elements. It's just Silent Madness is more fun. Um, and being quite a bit more fun than Satan's Blade, I think it makes it more of, you have a more enjoyable time. I think Satan's Blade, even though cheesy in spots, is quite a bit darker than Silent Madness. So Silent Madness would get my vote for, like, if you could only buy one of these at a time, then I would definitely say go with Silent Madness. Um, let's see. Texas say I'm going to get both of those soon. Amazon is a bit cheaper. Yeah, yeah, I think some of them, they um Amazon does, and sometimes Amazon, it's weird. Sometimes Amazon will have things more expensive than some other places, and I don't really understand that. Mel, like you said, Silent Madness even sounds better. Yeah, I mean, as far as a storyline and everything, definitely Silent Madness beats out Satan's Blade. I'm not gonna lie about that. So let me talk a little bit about the special features on here. So you get three different viewing options. You get digital 3D, which requires a 3D capable TV and player. You get anaglyph 3D, which works on all TVs with included 3D glasses. But like I said, it's not really that great. Um, and regular flat 2D. You get a newly recorded commentary track with director Simon Nocturne, moderated by author Michael Gingold. A commentary track with the Hysteria Continues, which is great. I mean, anytime you can have Hysteria Continues commentary, it doesn't even have to be a 3D movie. It doesn't matter. These guys are so much fun and add an extra layer of entertainment to a movie that may already be entertaining in and of itself. They just add to it. Their commentaries are great. A Method to the Madness, a 45, you actually get a 45-minute making of documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew, deleted interviews from Method to the Madness, silent stalking grounds, locations featurette, introduction by director Simon Nocturne, promotional 3D sizzle reel for Silent Madness, which is interesting, promotional and behind the scenes still gallery, multiple radio spots. Then here's a little additional info for you. This is a region free Blu-ray. Brandon, what are you doing, buddy? Probably going to end up knocking over my light there. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35 millimeter negative. And of course, includes two pairs of custom Silent Madness anaglyph glasses and reversible cover art. So, let's see. Red, you said, I think it's pretty cool if y'all made a sequel to the Dead Pit film, but this time a low budget survival film in the woods and mountains. Well, Red, that would be something that you would probably have to ask CK and Uncle Bill, because other than being on their stream sometimes, occasionally, I really have no association with the ins and outs of their uh, of Dead Pit. Really, I don't make the calls on that, so that would be something you'd have to take up with them. But that does sound interesting, though. So, anyway, that is Silent Madness. I'll show you the cover again that I like better. Well, if I can get it back in there. There we go. Gotta go to the top. So I could probably stay on here a few minutes more if you guys would like. We still do have about 7 people in here. I just went just over an hour. Brandon, there it went. I swear, my dog is going to end up breaking this thing that I spent $25 on. Okay, Brandon, buddy, you gotta quit knocking that over. Oh, I think I got this. Brandon, I don't know what you've done to it now. Doesn't want to lay flat. This thing's got a magnet on it, but that's odd. Hold on, guys. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I think I had it upside down. Perhaps Brandon doesn't want me to do these live streams. What do you think? Sorry about that. Ryan, you said, what is a release you regret not getting? You know, one that just popped into my mind when you said that, and you may think I'm weird for saying it because Steve does have a copy of it, but it's when Deadly Eyes, the rat movie, where it had little weenie dogs running around in the rat suits. When I believe it was Scream Factory that put that out. I didn't buy it when it came out. And now it's virtually impossible to get unless you want to spend bukus of money on it. So, yeah, I like that movie, or I love that movie rather, because I love like killer rat movies. And that one just seems to have a little something extra with it because I love weenie dogs too. And you can, it's kind of funny and kind of cute that you got this really supposedly horrific killer rat movie, and you see these little beautiful little dogs. I mean, you can see I kid you not, you can see the little weenie dogs' faces sometimes, and you can see their tails wagging and everything. It's just so funny and adorable, even in the midst of what's supposed to be a horrific thing. But it was just one of those things where I thought, nah, they won't. I'll be able to get a copy of it later. And by the time I decided to get it, it was just, it just wasn't readily available unless you wanted to spend a lot of money on it. It got really rare really quickly. Ryan, you say mine's the Amityville Curse collection. Um, I'm trying to think which one that was, Ryan. I don't think it's this because I don't think the one I have is like that big of a deal. No, I just got like the Amityville Horror Trilogy on Blu-ray, I believe. Ah, the one Vinegar Syndrome release. Gotcha. Okay. I don't think I got that one either. So is that another one, Ron, that you can't readily get, but it's like really expensive now, almost out of range? Because I'm really, I know some people said they were gonna hold off on it, but I'm really wanting to get the Amityville Horror on 4K. Is what I'm really wanting to get. Steve's already got the 4K of Roadhouse pre-ordered. You got me thinking that I wanted to go check this and see what Vinegar Syndrome has. Oh, I see this Vinegar Syndrome Amityville The Curse collection, and it is sold out. They wanted what, $59.98 for it? Yeah, I'm kind of sorry I missed out on that too. Looks like it had some pretty good special features on it too. Goes for stupid money. Yeah, that's pretty much what Deadly Eyes is doing too. You say it's like 140 or more on eBay. You can buy just the movies, but it probably would cost more than buying the set. I would imagine, yeah. I still think I'm gonna get the Amityville Horror 4K though. Brandon's just decided he's gonna lay down now. But that is a good question though, Ron. Like if I wait long enough, I'm sure there'll be other ones that I, regret not buying. But when you said that, what's one that I regret not buying? I was like Deadly Eyes. Um, I still don't know why I didn't go ahead and get it. It may have been one of those cases where I thought, I'll wait till another paycheck or something like that, just so I didn't overspend that week. Um, you say you're still looking on Kino for stuff. I'm on page 94. LOL. Whoa. I don't know. If there's that much stuff, I probably won't have time to go through it all. Is basically everything on sale right now, Ryan? Or is there? So yeah, I actually clicked on. So they're having this Shocktober sale until October 17th. Oh, it looks like they got 12 Angry Men on Blu-ray. for $8.99. Some of this stuff I probably wouldn't have any interest in get. That Insane the Darkness looks pretty good. Looks like they got the Antichrist. They got Ants. Ants would be another one. I mean, I I'm almost considering getting that Blu-ray for $10.99. Steve's already got the Antichrist, so I don't know if I would get that one or not. What does anybody know about this movie Baxter? It says beware of the dog that thinks. They It's a French movie. The inner thoughts of a sociopathic bull terrier. Hmm. Beware the Blob might be good. I mean, just $10. Blue Monkey. I like that Blue Monkey movie. I would consider it getting it for $10. Man. Just too much good stuff. Well, there's Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker if you don't already have it. Oh, there's that movie Candy that has a Ringo Starr on it. I mean, I'll be honest, that's not a really good movie, but I was watching anything and everything with Ringo Starr on it at one time. Campbell Apocalypse, a card player. I'll tell you what, there's way too much Emmanuel stuff in here. Oh, there's Conquest. You can get it for $6 on Blu-ray. That's not bad. Cut and Run you can get for $10, but Steve says that's not a very good movie, but I enjoy it. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go through these when I got more time. I guess I've got until October 17th. See, there's a bunch of Emmanuel 2. Goodbye, Emmanuel. It's like, who cares? I mean, in my opinion, who cares? Steve goes on and on about, mostly he goes on about the Emmanuel movies that have Laura Gimser in them. The Executioner song. Uh, yeah, there's several that I'd like to have. There's a whole bunch of film noir sets too. Yeah, I might have to invest in some of these guys. Ron, you say it's most of their stuff, you just have to look. Yeah, Wes, I'm actually thinking about getting that Conquest Blu-ray since it's so cheap. Ryan, you're getting Savage Weekend. Have you ever seen Savage Weekend? Um, the first time I watched that, I was expecting it to be really creepy, and there were some creepy scenes in it, but overall, I don't I don't find it that great of a film. I think I bought it on Blu-ray. Oh, you say you meant streets, LOL. I got you. I got you. Wes, of course you like Savage Weekend. I'm not saying that it doesn't have some good creepy elements in it. I'm saying for the most part, I don't think it's a really good film. You got disturbing behavior in this evening. I like disturbing behavior. Ryan, you said nice. I'm looking at possibly close to $100, but who knows? I may slim it down some. Well, she said, I'm holding out for the long lost yellow polka dot Emmanuel. What about the purple people eater, Manuel? Hey, John, you say sup ball. Uh, I done dropped my 100 on Kino sale. Got that hard target 4K in it. Ryan, you say, LOL, Polka Dot Emmanuel. I don't know who likes those movies. I can't get into those in Franco's films. Oh, finally, a guy that doesn't just go all goo goo gaga over the Emmanuel films, Ryan. I appreciate that a lot. My husband loves them. Anytime he can. Brandon Lee, baby, you're going to have to quit doing that. You're dragging. Stay out of this now. Come on. You know I'm trying to do a stream. Why do you keep getting tangled up in that? But like I was gonna say, anytime Laura Gimser gets naked, Steve loses his shit. Well, maybe not loses his shit, but you know. Johnny said just went by Best Buy after dinner and got Wishmaster collection for 13. Had a credit, I forget Vestron put that out. Cool. He said went by damn phone. To quote CKNEB, I got Ronnie Millsaps typing for me. Uh, well, she said, not sure how many of those Vincent Price ones are on there, but those are all fantastic. Oh, anything with Vincent Price, I agree. You say laughing my ass off. Brandon is a destructive boy. Well, he can be. Bless his heart. He just he's not very mobile, and he gets tangled up in his hind feet, and then they get tangled up in cords and everything. I try to keep the cords out of the way, but sometimes I don't do too good of a job. Johnny say, yeah, those are awesome. I want to get those film noir sets too at some point. Ryan, you said there are a few Vincent Price ones and some Christopher Lee, which are basically my two favorites. And yeah, Brandon needs maybe a timeout. Hello. Yeah, but I can't really get mad at him because, like I said, he's old. He's about 15 years old and doesn't get around good anymore. So, Johnny said, by the way, I watched Army of Darkness Blu ray. No way, in my opinion, that 4K is much better. I'm going to wait on that one. Well, I've already pre-ordered my 4K. I had to have it. Um, honestly, I may be sorry, but yeah, poor Brandon. He's just laying down now. Bless his heart. He pisses and shits on hospitality, Wes. Bless his heart. He has problems in both of those departments. Wedgie said the oblong box is Christopher Lee and Vincent Price, boss. Yeah. Um, let's see. There's something I was gonna bring up. Um, hold on here. I can't remember now. Ah, Peter Cushing. That's who I was wanting to bring up. How do people feel about Peter Cushing for you guys that are still in here? I really like Peter Cushing. To me, Peter Cushing is as great as Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, all those guys. Um, Ryan, you say Terror Train is $10.99 on Kino. By the way, if you don't have it, if I didn't have it, I would get it for that price. Johnny said, I absolutely recommend the Octagon run and CK if y'all haven't gotten it yet. It's well worth whatever they charge. Ryan, you say you love some Peter Cushing as well. Yeah, I mean, I love Vincent Price and I love Christopher Lee, but I don't know. For me, sometimes it seems like Peter Cushing has a little bit of extra something or other in his acting that I really seem to like. Yeah, they were a triple threat, really. Um, I still like to go. Speaking of Vincent Price, I still love to go back and watch the original black and white 1950s version of The Fly. I mean, I know it's cheesy and hokey, and like when she pulls the blanket or whatever off his head, and he's got this giant rubber fly head, and he's singing her like a fly would see her, supposedly in multiple, like it's almost like a broken mirror image, and she's screaming. But that is so classic, and I think Vincent Price is so good in that. And you would never know if you didn't know these behind the scenes things that the scene where the fly with the man's head is stuck in the spider web, and the spider is coming after him, and it's like, help me, it's the whole scene's kind of cheesy in and of itself, but it's fun too. And in that whole scene where Vincent Price and the other guy are talking, the reason why they're not facing each other is because they kept breaking up laughing. And so they finally just had to turn away from each other. I thought that was so a little interesting bit of information when I found out that. Because I never even thought about that, the fact that they weren't looking at each other in that scene. Oh, I love House of Long Shadows, Ryan. You say with all three of them, it's $9.99. May have to get that one. John, you say Kino does a lot of the type of stuff Shout Select puts out, but way better deals for the sales. Ryan, you say Scream and Scream Again is $14.99 with all three of them as well. Dang, they're gonna make all of us go broke, aren't they? I haven't heard Steve say much about the Kino sale. I don't know if he's just gonna stay away from it um or what he's gonna do. I definitely, this isn't Kino, but I definitely want to pick up, like I said, that Amityville horror 4K. And I know people are probably going to tell me it's going to look like shit, Dana. Why are you getting that? But I really like the Amityville horror, and I don't have it on 4K, so why not? Um, and I'm not spending as much as Steve did for the Roadhouse 4K. Guys, I'm going to stay on here, I guess, until around 9:30, about a couple more minutes. And that'll probably be like an hour and 30 minutes long, which is what I kind of try to do these Cheese Extreme Wednesdays shows. Um, John, you said Kino kind of reminds me of a mix of Turner classic movies and cult films. Their selections are always interesting, like career opportunities. I love it. I do too. They do seem to have a rather unique assortment of movies for sale at any given time. So again, I did want to, before I do get off here, I did want to remind everybody about the 2 watch-alongs coming up this weekend. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. And again, the reason why we're doing it a little bit later is because this was old Curly Jaw's pick for Maximum Overdrive, and he doesn't get off from work until 7. So he originally wanted me to make it 8, and I was like, yeah, 8 might be a little bit too late. So we kind of met in the middle, and I said 7, or he mentioned 7:30, and I said okay, just to allow him time enough to get home and get settled in, because being as is his pick, he wanted to be on the stream with me. So and sorry, I was glancing at the chat again. And so, as always, and I'm sure old Curly Jaws would agree with me, if anybody else wants to join in on the watch along, just let me know if you want to be live on the stream. And I will be able to send you the invite, the link to link up. And Wes, I'm going to say this while you're in here, hopefully, that you were right about StreamYard, and you can toot your horn here, because it is, like you said, it's a lot easier to be able to add people to the stream. So with me and old Curly Jaws being on here for the um, Maximum Overdrive watch along, I can have um, 8 other people on there other than us. So we can have a total of 10 people. So if you want to be on, just let me know, and I will be sure to send you the link so that you can be backstage so I can add you. And also Sunday, we are going to be having a watch along for Don't Go in the House. And that is Texas's pick, and he will more than likely be on the stream with me for that one. And again, whoever else wants to join, you're welcome to. Just let me know. And I see Ryan is. Ryan says, remind us of your upcoming shows before you get off, and also hit the like button if you haven't. Uh, yes, everybody, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'm not going to like insist that people do it, but, if you're interested in watching any of my other live streams and want to get notifications and all that, definitely do that. It helps my little channel steadily grow. And I'm really surprised at the support I've gotten thus far on this channel. I did not see myself having 300 and something subscribers, and I know people probably think, oh, that's not a lot of subscribers, but I still, this is a relatively new channel. I used to have an old channel, and I don't even know how to get into that channel anymore. I've seemingly forgotten the password to get into it. So, this is my main channel. That's the Evil Dead Chick channel. It's where I do the Deadites on Deck stuff and anything else I want to add to it. But I'll probably be doing I'm planning on, as long as I feel up to it, planning on doing another Fall Fright stream tomorrow night. Maybe. I don't know about Friday. Last Friday, I wasn't feeling so hot, so I kind of took that night off. So we'll see. But I definitely want to try to do another Fall Frights stream tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, the Don't Go in the House watch along will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday evening. Hey, old curly jaws. I have not seen Munsters yet. He meant gang, LOL. Okay. I thought maybe it was a typo. I wasn't sure though, Ryan. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say we need to do a live viewing of Evil Bong. That would be amazing. Well, I will add that one to my list, oh Curly Jaws, and we will certainly get to it. Okay. Hey, Dirk, you say, what's up, Dana, and how all y'all bastards doing? Dirk, you just cracked me up. Oh man. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say I'll be on Fall Fright with you tomorrow if you want. I got some dope picks. Well, yeah. I usually cover several, but if you want to bring some on too, oh curly jaws, that will be fine. I always love having somebody um else on the stream with me. So yeah, what we can do is we can switch off. I can do one, then you can do one of yours, and we'll just go back and forth that way. So that sounds cool to me. I'll be sure to send you the link for that as soon as I get everything set up for it. TJ, you said be there for burning some people Sunday. Okay. I look forward to seeing you there, TJ. Ryan, you said I'm looking at $120 after shipping. My fiance is probably going to kill me. She's going to say, that's money we could be using for our wedding, Ryan. Oh, man. Oh, Curly Jaws, you say sweet. Yep. Hopefully it will be sweet. So, guys, I went 5 minutes over my time that I said that I was going to be off here, but I want to thank you guys all for hanging out with me for about an hour and 35 minutes. It's been fun, and I think I've reminded of everybody of everything upcoming. If I do, I'm really planning on doing that Fall Frights tomorrow. It'll be part 3 with special guest old Curly Jaws. And we'll see what we can cover during that. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as usual, as most of these are through the week. And so, again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by, hanging out with me for a little bit. I enjoyed talking about Satan's Blade and Silent Madness with everybody. I enjoyed talking about the Kino Lorber Shocktober sale, the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and all of that. And yeah, so I guess with all that being said, oh, Curly Jaw says, need to make a dope thumbnail. Yeah. Uh, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, folks. And I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.